if you're a regular viewer to Boys on Film, you'll know that Sean Vickers has been treading the boards, not actually in a performance, but he's our roving reporter for theatre now. She's not content with movies. He has to do theatre productions and comedy nights.
I'm everywhere.
So we're talking Bob the Drag Queen, who was in Soho Theatre for one night only for Advice Special. And a live recording. Does that mean you're going to be famous, more famous, Sean Vickers?
I don't know. Hi, everyone. What you probably may hear is me cackling in the corner. I was sat in seat BB12, which kind of runs like adjacent to the stage, and I was thinking, I'm so close to the stage, Bob's going to pick on me, because as you walk into the theatre, there's a big sign that says audience participation, and as you know, British people just shudder at the idea of audience participation. So I did find it interesting that Bob was doing this in London, because, you know, we're not the like keenest when it comes to putting your hands up and saying, oh yeah, ask me a question and pick on me.
We're quite laid back, aren't we? Quite reserved. Typically British thing, isn't it, the way to behave. First of all, can I just quickly say, before we start the review, can I just say, nice of you to be festive?
Yeah, I'm wearing a fleece.
It's wintry.
You look more festive than I do with that big pom-pom of dreams, whatever it is. What is that? Tinsel?
It's actually tinsel. I mean, it's so classy, isn't it? A bit of tinsel.
Oh, you've really gone for it. Is that single-use plastic?
I got twinkly lights. I'm moving on because I don't want to talk about single-use plastic. And I've got look, Pennywise jumper.
Oh, you really have nailed it. I was saying to everyone earlier, I have got this hat. I said to Phil, I've got this hat. I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of like, it's furry, and I was going to wear this to make myself feel more festive. So, well done to the Soho Theatre. I have to say, applause, as always. Soho Theatre continues to be a standout location on Dean Street in London for really bringing in international talent. Fair dues to Steve Locke, who's their head of comedy there, who brings in some really fantastic talent. And Bob the Drag Queen is completely no exception. So, as we all know, Bob back in London because he's on stage with the legendary Madonna. We reviewed the Madonna concert recently, so Bob is the MC. Something's going to appear on screen.
Check the video up there, the link's there. Yeah, somewhere.
Yeah, and so Bob had obviously got a window, so what do? You find yourself in a basement in Soho. Audience participation led by Bob, and yeah, let's talk about it.
It's a great space, isn't it? Soho Theatre downstairs, because I saw Lady Bunny there a few years ago, and I was going on holiday the next morning. We caught a really early flight, so it was amazing because we'd had a few drinks, and I interviewed Lady Bunny as well on that occasion. But yeah, it was a fantastic show. It's just such a great space because it's not too big. Did you? You were there?
I saw that Lady Bunny show in the basement. So I'm there quite a bit. I'm a bit of a regular.
With your sleeping bag.
In the audience was Drag Race UK winner Ginger Johnson, accompanied by Jombers, who was from, I don't know, lost track a season ago or 2 seasons ago. They were having a gay old time. And actually, as the show started, Ginger introduced Bob the Drag Queen, which
was convenient, wasn't it?
Real drag royalty knocking about. So I will say also, I am seeing the Ginger Johnson show. I am seeing the Ginger Johnson show at Soho
Been on the eggnog.
I've been on the Baileys, girl. Yeah, so that show is at Soho Theatre on the 15th. I'll be there, and I'm sure Phil will be talking about the Ginger Johnson review in due course.
Of course, and we've got many of these to come. I mean, we're not content with just films, like I said earlier. I mean, you at the moment you're the person that's doing all these theatre shows, but I'd like to get to some of them. I'd like to see some of these shows, if that's all right with you.
Yeah,
if you'll let me.
But yeah, we should work that out. But yeah, I think I've got a few things coming up. Ginger's coming, but let's talk about Bob. So yeah. I mean, an absolute vision in kind of a cutaway leopard micro dress, looking absolutely fantastic with matching heels.
Yeah, you could have worn that today, but you chose not to.
I chose to go for some of this post-bear drag. Pull a bare face. Yeah, so I'm wearing post-bear drag. I'm not wearing leopard cutaways. Yeah, it was fab. So Bob was doing a bit of a Q&A. How can I help you? What do you want to talk about in the audience? And then there were some fantastic things. And I have to say, Bob, for 15 years of stand-up, I mean, a real consummate professional.
He's really confident, isn't he?
Hold a stage. Exactly,
so confident.
yeah.
I mean, you said this about the Madonna show. He really holds it together. I mean, obviously Madonna she's a pro as well, so she's doing her thing. But to have him as that extra, I mean, she doesn't need the extra confidence, but it's just the right person, isn't it, to kind of host that show.
I mean, the Madonna show, the glue really that holds the first third or half of it together, which is amazing. And here, like, as I say, consummate stand-up professional. I mean, really, the format of the show could have gone anywhere because it's not really that structured because it's a Q&A format. But, like, absolute laugh out loud responses, reads, roasts. There are bits when the British crowd are a bit timid to put their hand up, and Bob's got some great segments that you can just drop in. He's a bucket list comedian and star that, having seen them, it's just quite fantastic, really. And so, yeah, I don't know, probably about an hour for the show. The crowd clearly loved it. I did a brief hello as he left, but I was a bit like fangirling.
It says 75 minutes on the website, so I'm guessing that's with intermission, maybe. Was there an intermission?
Yeah.
Did you need
a
gin and tonic?
Intermission. There was no intermission, just pure fear that you might get picked on.
Yeah. Yeah, I see. I hate that, but I find it kind of thrilling, though. There's something quite edgy about it, because I think sometimes you choose to go near the front if you want to be near the front. I mean, obviously, it's wise not to be if you don't want to be picked on. But sometimes you don't have a choice, because if you've pre-booked your tickets and you're not aware that you're down the front, with somewhere like Soho Theatre, I don't know if they're numbered or anything. I mean, I guess they are.
They are numbered, yeah. And we were late to get tickets, and so we were. I know people were smart. They were like, the tickets that are free are close to the front. You're like, okay, great. But like, we swerved it, and it was hilarious. There was a poor chap called Otto to the left of Bob, who was 20 years old, and he really got it, because Bob was like, you don't know anything. You don't know any
references. Shout out for Otto.
Shout out for Otto. You survived well, my love, because you really got it in the neck. Because he was like, digital, doesn't know what a record player is, doesn't know what a cassette is, doesn't know what a video is. Really went for it. But it was like that right level of roast where, and that's why Bob's a consummate professional, because just walks that line so well between like gone too far and that's a lol.
So was it quite racy? Because I noticed on the website it says age recommendation 16 plus, and of course, 16-year-old is an adult kind of. Do you know what I mean? Like young adult.
Drifts into like sex, non-monogamous relationship. It drifts into a lot of adult content, which you would expect. It's not Disney. Like, it's Bob the Drag Queen at 10 o'clock in Soho. Like, you're going to get something a bit more risque, and that's kind of what you want. It's all part of it. So yeah, really quite fantastic. Held the crowd. There was no real like lulls in my mind. And as I say, when the Brits kind of stopped putting their hand up because we're all just like shy retiring weirdos, he had some really good content that he could populate. That actually, what was interesting is the questions that were answered, two of the people that put their hand up were both American. So
part of the entourage.
Sense. Yeah, not part of the entourage, but there's definite sense that I think if Bob had done that in a US crowd, there'd be a sea of hands going up. But the Brits are they're like hugging their pint of Stella.
Shy retiring types. Yeah. You're painting this picture that you don't want to be part of that. I'm quite surprised, because I thought you'd be down the front row with your arms up in the air, having a few G&Ts, few glasses of red wine, and just going for it, and just being
there was
bold.
Definitely wine. What I would say was,
Billy
me,
Porter?
shy and retiring. I'm very look at me, don't look at me.
You want to be in the moment when you choose to be in the moment.
I'm just kind of in the corner, like just going, not me. I'm here for the entertainment. I don't want to be part of this. I don't want to be like chatty Cathy. I'm very, as I say, look at me, don't look at me.
Are you sure?
I was going to ask Bob about the Zodiac. I was going to say, what does Bob think about the Zodiac? He was quite good, because he kind of started by saying, please don't ask me questions about Madonna. Please don't ask me questions about Drag Race. And I was like, fine, because everyone just wants to go, is RuPaul a real bitch? Like, you can expect the question, like, is Madonna a cow? And like, so he was like, please don't ask me any of these questions, because it's just like dull. He was clever. He kind of prefaced the whole thing in quite a smart way. And then you see a load of gays going, my question was about Madonna.
I suppose if you're known really strongly for a couple of things, and of course he's known for Drag Race, that's kind of where it all started. Although, like you say, he's been doing it for a long time. I mean, he became more well-known, didn't he, through Drag Race? So you would kind of expect... It's like, you know, if you're going to interview a band that had a massive number one and are known for being an 80s band, it's like you're bound to ask questions.
Yeah. Exactly.
How it
And, you know,
started.
it's good. Like, he's smart because he talks a bit about London. He talks a bit about UK drag.
What does he say about London?
Well, he was a bit, you know, a little bit like,
Sniffy.
I think at one point he said something along the lines of, London's a bit like a sad New York. And, you know, so there's a bit of read in there. There was a bit of shade, but all of it was done in good nature. And so, so the show was great. I don't know how this will format. I think there will be content that comes out from this Q&A and this kind of advice session. And I don't know whether we'll see this format roll out elsewhere. I'm sure we will, because it's actually really, really successful and it's really, really funny.
Well, that's what you find with a lot of comedy shows, a lot of stand-up shows. They kind of recycle the material, so I'm guessing a lot of it won't be wasted. It will turn up somewhere else. I mean, some people choose not to do that because they like to keep it fresh with each tour. But if this is just a one-off, how are they going to use it again? Are they? And also the filming as well. What's it being used for? Is it going to be a promo thing for him?
No, I think it's going to be I think it's social content for Bob and for Soho Theatre. So I think there'll be some shared content there. That's my sense that I get. And you're right. Some artists go through that. I saw Joe Lycett do his kind of trial work in progress of the big comedy show that he did, and that was great because he basically, I don't know, there was like 60 of us in the room and he was just testing material and like seeing where you get shits and giggles and where it just lands flat. And so, you know, he would tell some jokes and then, you know, he'd go, yeah, that's not going to be in the show. You know, so like also those work in progress ones are also really good because they're loose. And so you're like, you get all sorts because people are just trying stuff out. And again, that takes some level of professionalism and confidence to be like, I'm trying new material out and this might fall dead. But, you know, with Bob, as I say, he's superb. He's very confident, you know, in a room of people. He's very confident to swerve and dodge and redirect his show. And also through it, you do get a sense of him growing up as well. There's a lot of talk about him as a youngster, especially when he, as I say, when he gets a little dry with the audience. But it was really fantastic. I do hope he extends this and it becomes something more, maybe in this format or elsewhere. But if you do get a chance to see Bob in any format, I would say go do it because he's generally very brilliant.
Amazing. So, star rating for Bob the Drag Queen, the advice special.
Oh, it's like a really strong 4.
A really strong 4. That's really good for Sean Vickers, isn't it? Because we know you're a heart marker.
It's amazing for me because I'm just a really scorer. So, yeah, strong 4.
You're not a bit scorer, you just score bit sometimes.
That is true. Let me take that back. I'm not a scorer. I'm just
that
honest.
makes out that you just don't know what you're doing.
No,
that's you do know what you're doing.
Just honest about the things that I watch.
We haven't scored a lot of shit, though, to be fair. I mean, have we? Oh, maybe we have.
I just don't think shit makes it on.
Can't be bothered with that. Ain't got no time for that.
That's why our viewers of this channel never see it, because we just go, you gave it a 1. And I'm like, gave it a 1.
I do remember your 1-star review for a musical
which one was
movie.
it? Oh, let me think about it.
It was a musical thing, wasn't it? About a year ago.
Oh, it was, oh God, with Samantha Box. God, it was really bad.
You can't even feature
Bless
that
Samantha
in the same
Box.
breath
Samantha
as
Box
Bob the Drag Queen.
is a West End star. You know, she's in Frozen. Joan Collins was in. I mean, it was all chalked up to be quite good. Fleur East also features. Like, but no, it was an absolute stinker.
Not Bob the Drag Queen, though. 4 stars.
Not Bob the
Very
Drag
strong
Queen.
4.
Bob the Drag Queen, not a stinker. Legendary and genius, and a strong 4 stars from me today.
So normally we'd say go see it, but you can't. I'm sorry. It's gone.
I would say if follow Bob, so I'm just going to scratch my ear. Follow Bob. Follow Bob. And yeah, I'm sure you're going to see some of the content. So, and again, bravo to Soho Theatre for facilitating another fantastic show.
Fabulous. So hopefully I'll get to see a show soon. If anyone wants to invite me, I'm capable of doing a review. Yeah, you never call, you never text. Nice to get the invite. Anyway, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Listen, Phil, I'll work it out. You know, like New Year, new resolutions. Let's put it on the list. I'm making my New Year's resolutions list as it is, actually.
Yeah, you're making a resolution to be a better person. Very thoughtful of Phil's.
Actually, one of the things
out
on my resolution list is to say no more. Just say no more. Oh, I had a story. I just want to tell you this story, actually, which might just be a little, like, juicy nugget. So I was on 23andMe.
Okay.
Which is now a dating app. No, I was on 23andMe. I've obviously done my DNA screening, and surprise, surprise, I'm like 90% British and Irish. Who knew? A relative wrote to me from Canada who is a fourth removed cousin. So we had the same great grandparents, and said, "Oh, do you know anything about the family tree? We're originally from Sheffield." Applause to Sheffield. Do you know anything? And so we were chatting, and then when I said, I responded and I said, "Oh, it's really nice to hear from you. I can send you to a family tree." He said, "I actually found you doing reviews on Boys on Film."
Oh my God!
I've watched your reviews. So I'm going to say hello to my fourth removed cousin and be like, "Greetings from London and thanks for watching the show." Yeah. And he's also, I think he's also queer, so bravo.
Welcome to the team. That is amazing. Such a small world, isn't it? I'm good in a good way.
And it's not bonkers. So I just want to kind of call that out and say hi. Hey, babes. And
see, sometimes I wonder why we do this. It's a calling, isn't it? It's like, I do think to myself, you know, I wonder who watches sometimes. And it's nice to get that feedback because we don't get enough comments. If you're watching this and you are a regular viewer, leave a comment because this kind of thing, you know, brightens our world up. And yeah, that is an amazing story.
And you're a relative, leave a comment.
Yeah, even more so. It's even more important. Wow, that's incredible.
Isn't that amazing? I know you love one of my stories, Phil, and they just keep coming thick and fast, babes.
Your stories are fab. Who needs stories about you falling over in the gutter after a few G&Ts? We need more heartwarming family stories.
I'll see you in the Supreme Court with such slander.
Thank you very much for that, Sean. I love that you loved Bob the Drag Queen at Soho Theatre, and thank you everyone for watching. Leave a comment down below. Tell us
Give us your DNA genome.
Exactly. See you next time.
See you later.